Hey guys, welcome back to my channel for another beauty related video. Today we're gonna do a video that I saw done by, I don't remember who, I will link below who it was, who I saw this. I want to say it was just Steph? Just Steph? I want to say it was her. If it wasn't her, or even if it was, it'll be linked below because I would like to give credit to where credit is due. But this, I could only keep one palette from each brand. Which one would it be? And I thought this was a great idea, something kind of out of the ordinary, and so we're gonna do that. These are in no particular order except for the last one because, well, I'll explain that when we get there. So I will not be showing you guys a couple different brands, and the reason why I'm not showing you certain brands is because I've not tried the product I have from them. So I couldn't really say anything definite about it. So there will be a few brands you'll be like, wait, I thought you had something from this and this and this, but I haven't tried them, so they're not in this video. So without further ado, let's get into it. So first we're just gonna start with Eloise brand. I have had a couple, I have had at least one, I think 2 other palettes from them, and this is the only one I have decided to keep, and is the only one I would keep. This palette has beautiful artwork and quality that is stunning. Now, I'm not going to speak to the quality of the other ones that I've just decluttered because at least one of them I never ended up using, and that's why I just ended up decluttering it and passing it along. And then the other one, I don't remember if I owned it. I don't remember if there was another one I owned. But this one, beautiful quality, beautiful colors, and is something that while I do have these colors somewhere else in my collection, having them in this particular grouping is something that's really important to me and really pretty, and the quality is amazing. Then we're jumping into Ace Beauty. The palette I would keep is the Falling For You. This one was hard because I really like the nostalgia palette I have from them. But if it really came down to only keeping one from them, it would have to be this one, because even though the other one I can get a lot of bright colors from, I feel like it's harder to make a lot of looks just with that one palette. I feel like I have to use that palette with other palettes. Versus this one, I can use this on its own or with other palettes, and it's beautiful, and I get so many looks from it. Such a perfect fall palette, but honestly I can use this any time of year if I really wanted to. And the quality is amazing. The quality of both of them are amazing, but this is the one that I would have to pick. Speaking of colorful colors, the next one is from Juvia's Place, and I thought I was going to pick one of the larger palettes, and in fact I did not. I am picking the Zulu palette. Beautiful artwork. Just the colors in here, completely different reasoning from the previous palette. This one, while I can make some looks using just this, I do use this as a companion palette, but there's something about these colors that makes it the one that I would just pick. I would always keep this one if I could only pick one. This company was hard to pick from because there were, every palette except for one was like, I don't know what to do, but ultimately kept coming back to this one. So these colors are so gorgeous. They're beautiful. They're so pigmented, and yet I can blend them down if they're just too much for me, but they can build to such beauty. These are formulated for darker skin tones, so the pigments here, gorgeous, gorgeous. If you are looking for highly pigmented, great quality eyeshadows, check out Juvia's Place. Beautiful. All right, then we're gonna go to a brand that used to be my #1 favorite brand just in general. While I still like them, they are no longer my favorite. I found other things I liked. I still do like the products that they've been coming out with, but I've been thinking a little bit longer about each of the purchases I make from them. But this is the Ofra Cosmetics, and this particular one, the one that made the final cut as the one palette I would keep from them, is actually a collaboration with a YouTuber here called named Ali Dawson. If you don't know who that is, I am shocked. I will have her linked below. She is so funny and so fun to watch. She's got an amazing energy about her. But she did this collaboration with Ofra Cosmetics. It is the Falling in Love palette. And this is just the perfect fall palette. Like, those colors are beautiful. The quality is wonderful. All of Ofra's quality is wonderful, but I really liked this palette over all the others I have. I think it's because of the size, and I think it's because of the color story, and I think it's because I have actually dug into this more than any of my other eyeshadow palettes from them, and I didn't get this until spring. And this is a fall palette. So I think all of that combined told me that this is the one. This is the one. Okay, then I have a palette from Violet Voss, and this is another fall palette. This is All of You Forever. This is gonna be more greens and browns, very fall-esque. I love this. I have used this plenty in the beginning of the year because it was in a project pan, but I would 100% say this is fall palette. I had at least one other palette from them. It was like a pinky palette, and they weren't colors that I felt like I was ever gonna wear, so I actually gave that to my kids. I don't know if they even still have it anymore, but the quality is amazing. And this palette I love and would repurchase in a heartbeat. Then I have a much older palette that I don't know if it's discontinued or not, but I have seen it a couple times in my TJ Maxx, so maybe it's still around somewhere, I don't know. But this is from Too Faced, and this is the original chocolate bar. And guys, this one is just perfect. It still smells of chocolate, like even right here. As soon as I opened it, I smell the chocolate. It's so good. This is just gonna be browns and neutrals with just a little bit of the lightest pink. And there is a purple here and a little purple here, but they're so light that really it doesn't look very purple. It looks like a different level of a brown. These are so beautiful. And then there's some that you can use as highlights if you'd like. I love this palette. I will probably never just declutter this, even though it gets old. It'll probably stay in my collection as a collector's item. And this is definitely getting old, but it is still smelling great, working fine. The quality is starting to feel a little different than it originally did, but like I said, I've had this for a long time. This one I would 100% rebuy if given the chance and the need. All right, we're gonna jump into some drugstore ones. First, I have from CoverGirl. This is the Clean Fresh line, Clean Color. This is the 272 Candlelit Burgundy. This is a 4-pan palette that has surprised me time and time again. I have reached for this quite often. In fact, last year I reached for it a lot more than I did this year, but I have enjoyed this product. The colors are really, really pretty. For a drugstore quality, you get a lot of good color payoff. There is a decent amount of fallout, especially in the shimmer shades. They all work together. You can't really get that many looks though from it. Like, I found the more I used it, the more I started to feel like the looks kind of were looking the same. But if you're somebody who likes looks to be almost the same as every day, you would love this palette. The quality's there. I really have no complaints except that the packaging is cheaper, but it's not like the cheapest I've seen from the drugstore. Then we have e.l.f. Now, you know, if you've been around here, you saw one of my latest videos. I showed you that I had all of those 4-pan mini e.l.f. palettes. None of those are gonna make it into this. The one e.l.f. eyeshadow palette I would repurchase, and I would absolutely keep it and get rid of every single one else, is the 18 Hit Wonders palette. This thing not only has 18 colors, which gives it a lot of versatility, it has neutrals in here, it has bright colors in here, it has darker colors in here. There is so much you can do with this palette, and the quality of this is honestly really good. There's only one shade in here that's a bit hard to work with, and that's that yellow shade there, called Solar. But if you have the time to work with it, you can get it where you need it to be. But all of the other shades, absolutely beautiful. The shimmer shades are gorgeous. There is some fallout, but it's not like a huge deal. And then the packaging is kind of cheap. but I do like it. I would rebuy it, especially for the price of it, and it's good. It's got good quality. So this is the one palette from e.l.f. I would 100% be keeping and rebuying. Next we have Essence. Now this palette has continued to shock me over and over again, and I would rebuy this. I would recommend this to everybody, and it is so inexpensive. It is the Hello Berlin palette. I bought this to do a full face of Essence. I will have that video linked. It's an older video, so hopefully it's still good. But this quality and this color story surprised me. I have taken this with me on girls trips. I have used this for just everyday looks, and I have also used this for events that are a little fancier, like a little bit more like I need something of good quality, right? This color story has been so easy to work with, given me so many different looks, and the quality has 100% surprised me, shocked me. I continue to dig into this over my other palettes. It's honestly one that made me want to look at the others. I'll be honest, every other Essence eyeshadow palette that I've looked at just hasn't made me want to buy it, even though they're super inexpensive. So if you see this one, I do believe this is discontinued, but if you do see this one, or if they decide to bring it back, 100% recommend. And this is the one I will constantly keep from them. Okay, we have just a few palettes left. What brands do you think I have left to show you? And which palettes that I own do you think I'm going to keep? Or which, if I had to keep only one, which one do you think it would be? So the first brand is Glamlite. If you know the palettes I have, put your guesses down below. Let me know which one I'm keeping. If you guessed the Glamlite Garfield palette, you would be correct. Guys, if you have seen my videos, you've heard me talk about this, but this one has surprised me so much. I was not going to buy this, even though it looked really cute, because it just didn't look like a color story I was going to get Miss Juice from. And then I saw swatches constantly for it, and every swatch I saw made me want it more and more and more. I finally took the plunge and bought it, and I have used this so many times. I love this palette. It has shocked me so much. This is definitely the one from Glamlite. I would 100% keep this. Was not even a hard decision at all. Now, I only have a few palettes from them, so that could be why. But honestly, this is making me want to buy more from them. The next brand I have to choose one that I would keep from is ColourPop. If you know my collection, you know I have the Star Wars 9-pan palettes. I have a couple other random palettes, and then I have a bunch of the Mega palettes. Which palette do you think I would choose to keep if I had to get rid of all of the others? Did you say the Aurora Struck? If you did, you would be correct. This one is stunning, okay? Not only is the artwork just beautiful, the colors match so perfectly to the artwork and to what they were trying to represent, which is the Aurora Borealis lights. Now, I live currently in a northern state, and I have seen occasionally here and there the northern lights from afar. Just very light, not very many different colors in it. But just about a month-ish ago, from my own backyard, I got to see the most vibrant of the Aurora Borealis lights, and it was gorgeous. And I can say without a doubt that this palette represents those so well. I hope you are seeing this well on there, because this is just gorgeous. So we've got so many different shades of blues and greens and purples, a little bit of the grays and the darker colors that represent like the dark sky. The names on here are beautiful. The color shades are gorgeous. Really, there's only maybe a handful of shades I would have changed a little bit if I was trying to find something to change in this. But honestly, this is such a beautiful palette that represents what they were going for pretty perfectly. I would have done maybe a little bit less of the grays and taupes, because while that I can see how that works into it, and maybe they needed that to make this all come together, Personally, I would have done a little bit more of the colorful side, but I love this palette, and this is definitely the one I would keep. Absolutely, no questions asked. Okay, we have only one more brand. Do you know what it is? If you've been watching me, you probably know that it is Nomad Cosmetics. Okay, so I have been loving this brand and have been trying to gather as many of them as I can because I have fallen in love with their formula and in love with everything they do and the way they put out their products. But there are two palettes that I really struggled with to figure out which one was my favorite. And so I'm going to show you both of them. And then I'm going to let you guess, which one do you think I am picking? If I had to part with all of my other Nomad Cosmetics palettes, which one would I keep? The two I'm going to show you is the Nomad Ireland Wild Atlantic Way. This is one of their newer palette releases. Look at this stunning, stunning artwork set in Ireland. And then the other one is the Nomad Ghost Towns USA. Again, look at how stunning that is. This was their like Halloween spooky month release last year. It is not currently being sold, but it will be back this fall. So I showed you both of the outer packages. Let's take a look at the inside packaging. Guys, the details they go into for this packaging is amazing. So first, again, we have the Ireland palette. This one is this green velvety palette with golden detail along and golden writing. And then if you look closely, the green is actually embossed with, what are those called? With these the clovers, is that what they're called? I think so. So they're lightly embossed with that. It is just beautiful. Just so luxe. Okay, let's look at the outside packaging. Let's look at the packaging of the other one. Guys, this one, I don't remember what that's called, but it's got that shifty where you turn it one way, you see one picture, and you shift it another way and you see the other picture. Like, the details that they go into for these palettes, beautiful. Okay, let's look at the color story now. First off, they both also do come with equally sized mirrors, so that is not going to play into this decision. But look at this color story. I'm going to show it to you in a couple different lighting, so hopefully you can get the full spectrum of what it looks like. Just these like yellows and golds and blues and greens and a little bit of like an orangey, like a terracotta almost, reddish orange, and then greens up here, and the embossing, beautiful color story. This has wonderful quality. The mattes work beautifully, the shimmers work beautifully. The ones that are a little bit, there are a couple shimmers in here that are a little rougher than the others, but they still work gorgeously. Okay, then let's look at the color story of the other one. This one, again, this one's gonna get you a little bit more grungy looking. This one is going to be some greens, some blues, some browns. I love the way that this color story is laid out. It has equal parts mattes and shimmers. The shimmers are all super soft, super easy to work with. None of them are chunkier shimmers or glitters though, versus the other palette has some that are a little bit more chunkier. I feel like this one has a more flow to what the color story should be, and is very easy to look at this one and see what color stories, what you can make with this. Versus the other one, I feel like if you aren't somebody who plays with a lot of different colors, you might look at this and be like, well, what can I do with that? That's a lot of greens. In fact, they both have greens, but the greens are different, super different from each other. The greens in this one are more deep, more, I don't know, like that deeper, grungier feel, versus these are more bright with a couple that are a little bit deeper. very, very different color stories from each other. Gosh, guys, the quality of both of these are beautiful. The packaging is stunning. They both offer so much. This one was hard to choose. So which one do you think I picked? Which one, if I had to keep one, which one would I pick to keep and part with all of my other Nomad Cosmetics palettes? If you said the Ireland Wild Atlantic Way, you would be wrong. That's right, you would be wrong, because I would choose Ghost Towns USA hands down. I know the description and the way I was talking about it before, you wouldn't think hands down, but this one has my heart. This one has my heart. This one has equal performance from every single one of the shades. This one has this cool feature that's not little. It's the whole big palette. Like, oh, it's just so perfect. And like, the color story has my heart. Like, everything about this palette has my heart. So this is the one palette I would keep from Nomad Cosmetics if I had to keep only one. But thankfully, I don't have to choose only one. I can keep them all. So guys, that is every brand's what palette from them I would keep if I could only keep one. Did you like this video? If you did, hit that thumbs up. If you like this type of content, make sure you're subscribed. Thank you so much for watching all the way to the end. It means the world to me, and you are helping me in so many ways. Be sure to check out my other videos on this channel and come back for more content from me very, very soon. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful rest of your day, and I hope your summer is going splendidly. I'll see you guys in a video very soon. Bye-bye.